Hello, I'm Mauli, and this is Active Learners Channel. Today on Active Learners Channel, we want to learn about the addition of fraction. And so we have on the board here addition of fractions. And we are going to talk mostly about having the same denominators when you are adding fractions where the denominators are the same. Then we will go on and talk about adding fractions where one denominator is a multiple of the other denominator. Okay, so let's go on and talk about addition of fractions with the same denominator using diagrams. So let's go. So our first example is 1/4 plus 2/4. As you can see, the two denominators are the same. Let's find out how you can use a diagram to do this work. Now, with the denominator being 4, it means that we will have a whole. This whole shall be divided into 4 equal parts. So let's do that. And so one of the fractions will represent a part of this whole. And the second fraction will also represent a part of this whole that has already been divided. And so when we take 1/4, we will have to shade and find out which part of the whole that is covered by 1/4. So let's see. So this is 1/4 of the whole. Let's look at the next fraction. The next fraction is 2/4. And so we shall cover or shade 2 parts of it. So let's shade this part. Good. So now, to get the solution to the problem that we have, all we need to do is to now count all the shaded areas. So we have 1, 2, 3. That will give us 3. Then the denominator will be the number of parts the whole has been divided into. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 3/4. Let's move on and do the same thing over here. This fraction says 2/5 plus 1/5. The problem here says 2/5 plus 1/5. How do we use the diagram to solve this problem? Let's see. Again, we create our whole, and we'll have to divide our whole into 5 parts because the denominators are 5. Never mind how unequal the parts may look, but let's concentrate on the substance of what we are doing. So we have 2/5 to be the first fraction, and so we are going to shade 2 portions of the whole that has been divided. Good. Having shaded this part, we will move on to the next one. The next one says 1/5. And so let's move to this part. Again, we are going to count the number of shaded portions, and that out of the number of divisions that we have will give us the answer to our problem. So we have 1, 2, and 3. All out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you realize that addition of fraction with the same denominator, or addition of like fractions is not that difficult. If you forget how to do it, you can just use your diagram to just solve that problem. But then with calculations, how do we go about it? Looking at, let's start from here. This is 3/5. And when you look at the numerators, it will tell you that to do this in a very simple manner, you need to give a good interpretation of the problem. And what is the interpretation here? This is how best we can interpret this problem. So 2/5 plus 1/5 will give us 2 plus 1, all out of 5. The result is obvious. 3 out of 5, or 3/5. Now let's go back to this one and use the same formula. 1/4 plus 2/5. Sorry, 1/4 plus 2/4. So our problem here says 1/4 plus 2/4. We need to interpret the problem. Or perhaps we can use the word decode the problem. Again, we will add the numerators. And the numerators here are 1 and 2. So we have 1 plus 2, all out of 4. What will then be the result? We have 1 plus 2 will give us 3, all out of 4. So our answer here is 3/4. Hope this is understandable, or it is clear as to how you can add two fractions that are like fractions. Now let's move. We just finished adding like fractions. That is fractions with the same denominator. Now let's use the same process to solve fractions that have different denominators. Our first example here is 1/4 plus 1/2. 1/4 plus 1/2. How do we solve this using the diagram? Just check and see. We have the same whole. But first, we are going to divide this whole into two parts. I want us to deal with the fraction with the less denominator. And so let's divide our whole into two. Once we are done, we are going to shade one out of the two. And so we shade this part. This done, we are done with 1/2. What about 1/4 or 1/4? The same whole we are going to divide into 4 parts. When we divide the same whole into 4 parts, we are going to shade just one part of the 4 parts or 4 new parts that we now have. So we shade here. What do we get? It looks surprising or it looks interesting. We have 3 shaded parts, all out of how many parts? 4 parts. Again, we have 1/4 plus 1/2. Fractions with different denominators. But then 1 is the multiple of the other. 4 is a multiple of 2. And so it is easy to solve it this way. Let's go the calculation way. We can only add the fractions when they have the same denominator. If the denominators are different, it means we have to work on them such that they will have the same denominator. And so 4 is a multiple of 2. And so we maintain the 1/4 and work on 2 such that 2 will now be equal to 4. How do we do that? Now, 1/2, if you want to move on, what can we do to 2 in order to get 4? The only thing is to multiply 2 by 2 in order to get 4. So we have 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Now what will be the numerator? Whatever we did to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. We multiply the denominator by 2. So let's multiply the numerator also by 2 and see. So we shall have 1 times 2. And 1 times 2 will give us 2. So now we can say this is our new fraction for the 1/2. So we have 1/4 plus 2/4. What will be the result? We have 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 all out of 4. And our answer will be 1 plus 2, giving us 3 all out of 4. So you realize that the result is the same as we got here when we use the diagram. Now let's move on and do the next one. This is 1/3 plus 2/6. So what shall we do? Let's use the diagram once again. Again, I want us to use the denominator, which is the least or the smallest number. Okay, the denominator with the smallest number, or the fraction with the smallest denominator. Or let's use again. I want us to use the fraction with a smaller denominator, and that is 3. So we are going to divide this into 3. We have to shade one part of it. We are done over here. Now let's look at 2/6. It means that we are going to redivide our whole into 6 parts, and it is easy here. Once we have 3 parts, once we have 3 parts, we can go ahead and divide it into 6. And so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's shade 2 parts of it. Then we count the number of shaded portions. 1, 2, 3, 4. All out of the number of parts we have divided the whole into. And that is 6. So this is our answer to this question. If we like, we can further divide it. But let's go and do the mathematics first. Once again, 1/3 is the fraction with the smaller denominator. And so we are going to work on it because 6 is a multiple of 3. So if 6 is a multiple of 3, then we must work it out such that all the denominators should be 6. We are maintaining the 2/6. Let's work on 1/3. Now, what can we do to 3 to make it 6? We will have to multiply 3 by 2 in order to get 6. We'll do the same thing to the numerator in order to get the next numerator, or to get our new fraction for 1/3. And so 1 times 2 will give us 2. So our new fraction is 2/6. Okay? All right. So let's move on and add it here. So this is our new fraction is here. And so we can go ahead and decode. We have 2 plus 2 will give us 4, all out of 6. So you see, our mathematics has given us the same answer as our diagram. There is nothing wrong with simplifying this answer. So to simplify it, you look at a factor of 4 and 6, or a number that serves as a factor of 4 and 6, let me say so. So that factor will be 2. 2 into 4 will be 2, and into 6 will be 3. So our answer simplified is 2/3. Hope this video has been helpful. This is Active Learners Channel. My name is Mauli. Thanks for watching. See you next time.